WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the Open Eye. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Yeah, but it's cold in Wilmington. Took my car forever to line up. Get warm up. All right. Well, we're here now. We're going to get them going. There's my theme song. All right. Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego digging. We do so because the chains of oppression in our people's minds are deep and difficult to remove. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist, here to get them started. And I'm going to get right into it. All right, here we go. Every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. And yes, we do, right here at WHGE 95.3. Wait a minute. Where's it? Oh, there it is. Okay. I get my disclaimer out the way right quick. Take care of that. All right. The views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual. All right. Got that out the way. Let me get here first before I get some things going. Yeah, it's really cold out there. And we have some of our veterans that are on the street. They shouldn't be. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets is on a mission to do something about that. Okay? We have a program called Supportive Services for Veteran Families. If you are a homeless vet or in danger of homelessness, or you know a vet that is out there homeless, contact Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Go on my page and get the flyer. Call 302-842-2119. That's 302-842-2119. It's too cold out there. That's weird. All right. Moving right along. You know, it's something that I'm no longer a spring chicken. And some things that go on as I get older that I realize. One of the things is I talk to myself. Yeah, and I do it quite often. You know why? Because I need expert advice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't need anger management. Yeah, I know I scream on people sometimes. What I need is for people to stop pissing me off. My people skills are just fine. It's my tolerance of idiots that needs work. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know this is so for a lot of us as we get older. The biggest lie I tell myself is, I don't need to write that down. I remember it. BS. No, it's word. You know, and I said, some things you realize and find out And that's, duct tape fixes a lot of things. I have duct tape things together. But it can't fix stupid. But it can muffle the sound. You know what I mean? Okay? And I know at this age, you like to do some things and what have you. Everybody likes to get lucky. I'm going to tell you what getting lucky means. It means walking to a room and remembering why I went in there in the first thing I placed. That's for sure. It's interesting. And we admire some historical figures based on what we were told they did. Like Thomas Edison. He wasn't an amazing inventor. He was a patent thief. And while Thomas Edison did have a role in inventing some incredibly life-changing things, he was actually a huge bully who was threatened by the success of other inventors. And he also took credit for things he didn't even invent. Hey, Steve. Yeah, some people we admire, especially when it brings religion into the picture. Like Mother Teresa. I can remember coming up and you would see pictures of Mother Teresa with poor children and this, that, and the other. And you thought, wow, what a woman, what a spiritual lady. Well, Mother Teresa believes suffering brought people closer to God. Her hospices were just places for people to die in agony. Because she thought suffering brought people closer to God. That's all, Vaughn. But as soon as her own health was at risk, she fled to the best hospitals. She was a hypocrite and caused untold suffering that could have been easily avoided with even basic medical interventions. Yeah, watch out who you admire. And some of these people you admire ain't nothing but a bunch of devils. WHGE 95.3 FM, Dove and I. Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist here. Right. It's something you look at the maps of the world. These people are so dishonest. They won't even draw the maps right, man. I know by now a lot of us have seen that Africa is depicted as much smaller than it actually is. And a lot of things we don't know about Africa. For instance, did you know that Africa is the only continent rooted in the ground? All the rest of them continents are floating. See, when we had Pangea and the continents broke apart, they broke apart from the motherland. Africa is also the only continent that has kept its megafauna preserved. Africa also has more natural resources than any other continent on the planet. Our motherland is amazing, and its history goes well beyond the slave trade. They're not going to teach you that in school, as it happened during the continental drift. Oh, you always got to put race in it. You can't even do geography without the, Yep. Because people keep telling me it's not about race, it's the system, that's the enemy. Let's take a look at the system, because white men, who are 31% of Americans, are 66% of police officers, 95% of prosecutors, and 65% of all elected officials. So don't tell me it's the system. You gotta look at those who are operating the system. And stop thinking of racists as Cletus, who lives in a trailer, works at a factory, drives a truck, and shouts racial slurs. Because there's also Karen, who went to State U, works in human resources, shops at Whole Foods, and loses resumes if the name up top is too ethnic. In the past couple of weeks, we talked about the nurse that was breaking the bones of infants. And with this crap that's going on now, you better keep an eye on these white women. Yeah. And it was something, the inauguration was early this week. And you had this clown. You know, it's some people, it's on site. Now punch him in the mouth. It's on site. He gets up there and does a parody of Dr. King. You talk about some minstrel show crap. Yeah. And of course you got these people, you know, this week, the 20th was the celebration of Dr. King's birthday, which is actually on January 15th. Dear white people, stop using Dr. King as an example of a peaceful protest. You shot him. You know? And it's something how these clowns get up with these quotes of Dr. King. I'm going to give you some quotes of Dr. King they wouldn't repeat. For instance, on some positions, cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? And then it comes along and asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular. But he must do it because conscience tells him it is right. Dr. King. Y'all wouldn't repeat this one either. Whites, it must frankly be said, are not putting in a similar mass effort to re-educate themselves out of their racial ignorance. It is an aspect of their sense of superiority that the white people of America believe they have so little to learn. Dr. King. Yeah. Quote that. Quote this. We have deluded ourselves into believing the myth that capitalism grew and prospered out of the Protestant ethic of hard work and sacrifice. The fact that capitalism was built on exploitation and suffering of black slaves and continues to thrive on the exploitation of the poor, both black and white, here and abroad. Yeah, quote that. You want to quote Dr. King? Quote that. WHGE 95.3 FM, Dove and I. All right. Glad to see some people joining us here. Harlan, Brother Lawrence, Sister Samantha. Move right along here on the open eye. Oh, I got some stuff for you. Yeah. All right. Start right there. Okay. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM. Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. Well, as we know, and it's something that people didn't believe in, but Donald Trump made some promises. FAFO. And that's what a lot of these people have done. I saw a video. This guy is on there talking about his wife got a job at the VA. She always wanted to work at the VA and help veterans, help disabled veterans, and what have you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she always wanted to do that. So they made a big move, bought another house, spent thousands of dollars relocating so she could take this job. And 2 weeks before she was supposed to start working, she got a letter from the VA that her job offer had been rescinded because of Trump's hiring freeze. Now her and her husband are crying out to black people and telling them, help us get this news out that what Trump did to us. It must have been a mistake because we voted for him and we know he didn't mean to hurt us. Damn fools. Didn't listen to his promises, did you? Oh no. Oh no. It wasn't about gas and eggs. And you knew that when you voted for him. FAFO. He told you, Project 2025. Oh, he tried to play it down, but his surrogates definitely let you know that that's what was going to happen. 2025 goals in no fault divorce. Now, what does that matter? I tell you what it matters. Because some of the most abusive spouses are white males, especially white cops. And with a no-fault divorce, you can go here and divorce his sorry ass. Yeah. Yeah, you can put an end to that. A complete ban on abortions without exceptions. That's going. They trying their damnedest to get rid of that. Without exceptions. So that means if your cousin uncle raped you and you get pregnant, you got to carry that baby to term. Mm-hmm. And you wonder why some of these people in these red states have children with birth defects and mental illnesses and what have you. Ban contraceptives. Now, some of these things I'm reading off haven't happened yet. Mm-hmm. They want to ban contraceptives because they want, especially white women, if they have sex and get pregnant. Because they fear they're running out of white people. And, of course, their birth rate is 0%, especially worldwide. Because he wants to make additional tax breaks for corporations in the 1%. That's definitely on the plan. Higher taxes for the working class. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of taxes, there's a rumor going around that if a guy pays child support, then he's the one that gets to claim the children on his taxes, and the woman can't. Now, this is something that's always been left to the couple to decide and what have you. And it's a rumor. It's not true. Now, why would someone put a rumor out there like that? Because in their racist mind, black men don't take care of their children. So Trump going to give them a break. But if they go ahead and pay this child support, they'll be the one that be able to claim on the taxes, and they'll get the big fat tax return. Don't be a fool. Jeez. Because they want the elimination of unions and worker protections. They want to raise the retirement age, what is already 62, 65. Now you're qualified to apply for Social Security when you're 62. But you don't get the full amount until you're 65. Age expectancy, especially among black men, is about 70. And they want you to work until they say, you don't want you to work until you die. And of course, they want to cut Social Security, as if Social Security, one, is doing damage to the budget. It's just too much coming out. No. That's money that you paid into the system. It makes me think of an episode of Sanford and Son when Grady was filling in. And he said when they took that money out of his check when he was working, when they took $1, it was worth $1. Now when they give it back, that same dollar's worth $0.25, and they want to cut it. Damn right, it's an entitlement. You're entitled to that money. It's not a giveaway. Cut Medicare, because they don't give a damn if you're sick or not. Which is why they want to end the Affordable Care Act, which these morons don't realize and don't know that the Republicans named the Affordable Care Act Obamacare. FAFO. You voted against your own best interests because you thought, oh, that ninja gave us Obamacare. We need to get rid of it as long as they don't touch. I heard people say it. As long as they don't touch the Affordable Care Act. It's the same damn thing, idiot. Now, some of these things I read off, they haven't taken place yet. Raise prescription drug prices. Yup, check. Done. Eliminate the Department of Education. Damn. As if America is uneducated enough. You know, we are like 5th from the bottom of the list worldwide. Bunch of uneducated, ignorant fools that think having an education is you know, you're just an uppity. Yeah. Use public taxpayer money for private religious schools. See, they only want their own educated. Or indoctrinated. Because they're not being educated. Teach Christian religious beliefs in public schools. They want to teach you stuff that they don't believe in the damn selves. Because these are some of the most sinful, evil people you ever seen. That's why they want to end free and discounted school lunch programs, because they don't give a damn if your child goes hungry. And with some of these free lunch programs, that's the only good meal that some children get. That some poor children get. You see, in their mind, black children eating for free. Black and brown children. They need to put a stop to that. Brother Jardea, I see you there. They want to end civil rights and DI protections in government. Check. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ban African American and gender studies in all levels of education. We'll check. Ban books and curriculum about slavery. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they definitely don't want you to talk about that. They definitely, yeah, what was it? They had Ben Carson, when the orange disaster was in office last time, hit of HUD. And of course, he's out there talking about, well, honey, these people that came from Africa were involuntary immigrants. What the hell is that? An involuntary immigrant. That means you were kidnapped. Shit. In climate protections check they put out of the Paris climate accord. Hell bent on destroying the world. That's how crazy these people are. And you got the Nazi Elon Musk building spaceships to go out in space. They think they're going to go to Mars, terraform Mars, spend all this money, terraform the Earth. So Neil deGrasse said, increase Arctic drilling, more damage to the environment. Check, they did that. Because they want to deregulate big business in the oil industry. Corporate gangsters. Yeah, check. They want to promote and expedite capital punishment. But only for certain people. Don't get it mixed. They want to end marriage equality. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like this. I have misgivings about whatever I have misgivings about, but it ain't none of my business. Who you with is on you. And you have that right. You should. They want to condemn single mothers while promoting only traditional families. You ever seen some of these trad white women, as they call them? It's some of the dumbest wenches I ever seen. And want to defund the FBI and Homeland Security. They want to use military to break up domestic protests. Anybody out there that protests against them, they want to dispatch their brown shirts to put a stop to it. Yeah. They're back to banning Muslims from entering the country. They want to eliminate federal agencies like the FDA, the EPA, and more. And continue to pack the Supreme Court and lower courts with right-wing zealots. Oh, you left something out. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. They want mass deportation of immigrants and incarceration in camps. And they want to end birthright citizenship. They're already on that. Birthright citizenship now, they're going to run into some problems with that because it's the 14th Amendment. And he can't just, the orange disaster, tangerine terrorist, can't just write an executive order and reverse an amendment. It takes, 2/3 of Congress to vote on that? So that's, and federal judges already said, no, that's against the Constitution. We're not going to do that. And of course, they don't want you suing about the discrimination that they want to met out to you. So what the orange disaster did, and his new Justice Department has put a freeze on civil rights litigation and suggested it may reconsider police reform agreements made after George Floyd and Breonna Taylor's cases. So the orange disaster, Justice Department, leadership orders a freeze on civil rights cases. And that's how you get things like this. Terrible things are happening outside. Poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find their parents have disappeared. That's a quote from the diary of Anne Frank, January 1943. And if you don't study your history, you don't study the past, you're doomed to repeat the failures of the past. And those that don't want you studying the past have every intention of repeating the dirt that they did before. And I see a lot of Hispanic people that, of course, are crying the blues. FAFO. 65% of y'all voted for this fool. Didn't pay attention to what you was voting for. So I got some advice for you. Because they coming. They coming. They went to one school, I think it was in Chicago, yeah. It was in Chicago, and the Chicago school officials wouldn't let them in. You know, y'all ain't coming in here with that mess. They sent them on. Now, if ICE agents show up at your door, remember, you do have rights. You do not have to open the door. If you do, stay calm. You have rights. Ask what they are there for. And ask for an interpreter if you need one. If they ask to enter, ask if they have a warrant signed by a judge. And if so, ask to see it through a window or slipped under a door. Now, I seen this video. Cops knocked on this dude's door. It's like, this is good advice right here. They said, just open the door. We just want to talk to you. We just want to talk. And yes, how many people, how many cops out there? Oh, it's 3 or 4 of us. Okay, talk to each other. Good night. Now, if they force their way in, which is what they're likely to do not resist, because they'll kill you. Tell everyone in the residence to remain silent. And if you are arrested, you have the right to remain silent. Don't sign nothing until you speak to a lawyer. From the 14th Amendment, first paragraph. This is what they want to reverse. All persons born or naturalized in the United States, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. That's an amendment. That's the 14th Amendment. You can't just write an executive order and get rid of an amendment. It has to be an act of Congress. Some education. Read a book. Damn. Tuned into the open eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs. WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm about to put my finger on the button that goes out, you know, over the radio, because I'm going to say something. All right? Let me see, man. Let me get it together here, because I got to be good with this. Okay. Fuck Snoop Dogg. Fuck Nelly. Yeah, that didn't go out over the air. The FCC ain't gonna get me for that. Rick Ross, Soldier Boy, or whatever his name is, Soldier Child, mind of a child, because he got a bag. And 4 years ago, Snoop Dogg said, yeah, ain't nobody performing at the inauguration, because I'm a clown. Then gets right up and does so. Now, Snoop been kind of quiet, but Nelly with his ignorant ass, it was an honor. It was an honor. It wasn't about Trump. It was about the office of the president. Yeah, with people like myself were telling our people to boycott your concert because F you. All right? See what it was about then. Need some money that and Snoop, you don't need no money. We shouldn't be surprised. We really shouldn't. We should not be surprised. You know, in the words of Nelly, is there racism in America? Even there is, I ain't seen it. Looking at that bag you got, huh? Damn fool. You think they playing? They not playing. You see Elon Musk get up there and do that Nazi salute? Oh, the ADL said, oh, well, you know, it may not, it wasn't really a Nazi salute. It was, yeah. And I seen a brother go along with that. Well, the ADL said, you know, the American Defamation League, they're Jews, and they said they're Zionists. They're damn what they said. It wasn't, yes, it was a Nazi salute. Ain't no way around that. Think they playing? The white Nazi groups prepared to extermination for populations undesirable to them. You kidding me? Musk comes from a family of fascist Nazis, along with the Orange disaster. Here's a list of some of the more significant white extremist organizations in America today. American Renaissance is a monthly racialist magazine published by the New Century Foundation. The American Freedom Party, formerly known as America Third Position Party, which means Third Reich. The American Nazi Party, a neo-Nazi organization. The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, and one of the largest and most violent white supremacist prison gangs in the United States, responsible for murders and other violent crimes. And these are the type of people the Orange disaster letting out of jail. Yet the Aryan Nation, you heard of them, still got the Council of Conservative Citizens, an American political organization that supports a large variety of conservative and paleo-conservative causes, in addition to white separatism. I really don't care about white separatism. I'm going to be around them damn fools anyway. And of course, the Klan, the National Alliance, the National Association for the Advancement of White People, for the event. Yeah. Sister Sherry said the musk ox is a descendant of Dutch colonizers. That's just what the hell he is. Yeah. And of course, the White Aryan Resistance, which is a neo-Nazi white supremacist organization founded and led by former Ku Klux Klan leader Tom Metzger. Some awful people. They're not playing. Y'all better stop playing. Open your eye. WHGE 95.3 FM. Open eye. WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. Okay. You got an issue, you got jam up, something like that, something that needs to be publicly known. The people here at WHGE will advocate for you. Step on up. Black jobs. I saw a white guy and said, you know, if they round up all these illegal immigrants and Hispanic people and people from Mexico and what have you, that are really skilled in these agricultural jobs that don't pay nothing, who gonna pick our damn fruit? And that was the brother's reaction to that. Who picked the fruit before? Yeah. Well, see, in the minds of these people who follow the tangerine terrorists, black jobs are jobs that black people had during Jim Crow. Sharecropping, domestic servants. Come over and clean your nasty ass house. Being abused on sharecropper plantations. That's their mindset. That's what they think black jobs are. Damnedest thing that the most educated group in America are black women. And they sure as hell ain't taking none of no so-called black jobs. So Trump, one of what, day one? Oh yeah, he signed off some stuff on day one. Caught myself there. And of course, you know, rolling back the 14th Amendment. You know, yeah. And the executive order reversing Executive Order 11246 that was signed by Lyndon Baines Johnson. So what that does is it removes protections and discrimination in jobs, especially in the federal government, because he's targeting black people. You get out there and do in the field, as Sister Sherry said, to do the jobs that white people historically were too lazy to do. That's why they ran over Africa and kidnapped our people, because they didn't want to get out here and do the work that they actually didn't even know how to do. When U.S. President Johnson took the stage at Howard University in June 1965, he had already signed the Civil Rights Act into law. And he said he expected to sign the Voting Rights Act shortly. They want to turn all that back. And for you black Trump supporters, you know, when the ancestors see you, they're going to say, how could you? The hard-fought legislation crafted after widespread protests and demonstrations by black Americans was not enough. That's what Johnson said. He laid out the vast economic gulf between black and white Americans and his plan to address it. Black poverty is not the same as white poverty. So Johnson said. Right? It was also caused by ancient brutality, past injustice, and present prejudice. That's still there. Black Americans are still buried under a blanket of history and circumstance. It is not a lasting solution to lift just one corner of that blanket. We must stand on all sides, and we must raise the entire cover if we are to liberate our fellow citizens. Rather than improving their situation, it was declining by many measures. Black male income had declined and unemployment risen in recent years, he noted. The unemployment rate for black and white men was nearly equal 35 years ago. That's what Johnson said, 35 years ago. From 1965 and 1930, during the Great Depression. And he said, but since then, it become twice as high for black men. The median income of black families dropped from 57% of that of white households in 1952 to 53% in 1963. A little over 10 years. Johnson said he was calling a conference of scholars, government officials, and black leaders to ensure that black Americans move beyond opportunity to achievement. In September, he signed Executive Order 11246 forbidding employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, and national origin by organizations receiving federal contracting, and required federal contractors to set up detailed affirmative action. That's where it came from. Programs to make sure that was the case, that are monitored by the federal government. And Dick Gregory made a joke about that back in the day, but they wasn't kidding. They would have inspectors come show up on these jobs from these manufacturers and what have you that had contracts with the federal government. That if you didn't have black employees in there and you showed that everybody there was white, your contract was over. Though Trump rescinded the order late on Tuesday in a flurry of measures aimed at repealing diversity programs across the country in a move that could have far-reaching impacts. The White House included the order's elimination under a list of measures it called terminating illegal discrimination in the federal government. Terminating illegal discrimination in the federal government. Boy, can they twist terms and this, that, and the other. See, when you don't have the wherewithal to compete on an equal playing field, anything that equals the field to your lazy white ass seems like oppression. The rescinded order is the federal authority underpinning affirmative action for federal contractors and subcontractors. Law firm Dwayne Morris explained in a message to federal contractors, the executive order represents a radical change in government policy that throws the entire existence of race and gender-based affirmative action into limbo. The phrase affirmative action and much of the executive order Trump is repealing is self-built on one signed by Johnson's predecessor John F. Kennedy in March of 1961, which asked government contractors to take affirmative action to ensure employees and applicants were treated without regard to their race, creed, color, or national origin. Trump's rescinding of a 60-year-old order comes as the racial gap in median income has improved only slightly since LBJ's 1965 speech. The median income of white non-Hispanic families in 2023 was $89,000 according to the U.S. Census, while median income of black households was $56,000, about 63% of white households. He has every intention and rolling back the rights and what have you that were hard fought. One day took 60 years. It was 60 years when that was signed, 60 years ago. Now, it might have been signed into law 60 years ago, 1965. But those laws actually really didn't take effect until the mid-70s. And of course, by then, we were dealing with white lash, the Southern strategies, and how Nixon got in office. 75 was when things really started kind of opening up. By 1980, yeah, Ronald Reagan made roast to hell, made a devil sodomizing with a pitchfork in office, making it okay to be racist again. Yeah. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Patrice, Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. You know, one of the things Nelson said when Nelly, yeah, getting hot in here, ain't it, Nelly? Yeah. One of the things he said was, show me where Trump was racist. See, yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Where some people's going to be on site. You actually got up and said something that's stupid. Yeah. As Trump is definitely targeting black people. And what he wants to do, of course, make America great again. When it was great for only white people. He is blatantly targeting black people. He has always been a racist. It's nothing new. Everybody knew it. That's how I used to look at some of the stuff I used to see like in the 90s when he was like kind of popular amongst black people. You know, these rappers running around putting Trump in their songs and this, that, and the other. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Don't pay attention. Now, when I think about it and what he wants to do, I think about Sonia Macy, because he said he was going to give immunity to cops. And he's already shown that he's willing to celebrate white people that murder black people. That Perry dude that murdered the mentally ill young brother on the subway. They invited him to sit with them in the booth at the football game with some crap. Was that what it was? Yeah. Celebrated him. Goddamn murderer. You're going to give immunity to cops. Yeah. Get ready, y'all. Get ready. Blatant racism. What did he do? Along with pardoning the insurrectionists, he said, oh, I'm out. These violent people, traitors to the country. Some of them knew. And yeah, a couple of them, they actually knew that what they did was wrong. And they wouldn't accept the pardon. They few and far between believe that. He pardoned 2 white DC officers who were convicted in the death of a black man stopped for not wearing a helmet while riding a moped. And of course, the family was outraged. It's outrageous but not surprising. Family members of a black man whose death was covered up by 2 cops found in a police chase expressed disappointment and shock at the news of the officer's pardon. Don't be shocked. I get a little shaky when I hear some black people say, oh, they shocked that a racist colonizer, 3 generations deep in racism, does something racist. Don't be shocked. Because Trump issued a full and unconditional pardon to Lieutenant Andrew Zabatsky and Metropolitan Police Officer Terrence Sutton, who were convicted for their roles in the 2020 death of Coron Hilton Brown. Both cops in 2020 spotted 20-year-old Hilton Brown, 20 years old, driving a moped on the sidewalk without a helmet. Oh my God. They tried to conduct a traffic stop, but when Hilton Brown didn't stop, they chased him. The high-speed pursuit spanned more than 10 blocks and ended when an uninvolved motorist crashed into the moped, leaving Hilton Brown seriously injured. Prosecutors accused Sutton and Zabatsky of covering up the incident after learning they turned off their body cameras to speak privately with one another, tampered with the scene, and misled their commanding officers about the nature of the incident. Investigators learned that both cops allowed the motorist who struck Hilton to leave the scene 20 minutes after the crash. Sutton also drove his police vehicle over the crash site to crush pieces of debris from the collision as he left the scene. These guys are just dirty. And that brings me to this. Saw this TikToker talking about a test that cops were giving. And this guy, he scored real high on the test. So they denied him the job. Say he's too damn smart to be a cop. What they're really afraid of is that something else will come along and pay him a lot more money, so they're not going to hire him. He's overqualified. Basically, they don't want cops that are too smart. Okay? That have any emotional intelligence. That just don't go in line with, people that are abusive and murderous. Have any sense of empathy, any sense of civilization. Because our society is not a civilization. It's organized brutality. WHGE 95.3 FM, Dope and I. Yeah. Brother Haru, I don't know if I spoke to you. Peace, brother. Thanks for joining us. All right. What is we gonna do now? Yeah. Because, looking at the way things are going, we got some dark days ahead. Because the orange disaster and his cronies have every intention of resegregating the country. Now, the thing about resegregating does not particularly bother me. We need to segregate away from these fools. But what we didn't understand about the civil rights movement, got all mixed up about integration and all that stuff. It wasn't really about integration, it was about access. It was about living in dignity. It was about being able to walk down the street and not be accused of the crime of living while black. As if that is a crime. We get confused because, some of us take one side or the other. Well, it wasn't about civil rights. What are civil rights? It's the right to live in a civilization. Or it's about human rights. What's the difference? You come into the world with human rights. And if the society that you live in is uncivilized, then you need to fight to be treated civilly. What are we going to do? It brings me to something that I planned on and want our people to participate in. Because some of us don't know our power. They do. And don't give a damn in their arrogance. Some of them don't. A lot of their uneducated, indoctrinated fools don't. And like I said, it brings me back to something that I called for years ago. Over a century ago, W.E.B. Du Bois asked, what would America be without its black folk? FAFO. Let's take a day and find out. One day. Let's take one day when we not only do not participate in the economy, but we do not even participate in the American society at all. Not just to show them our power, but to show us. One day when black people in America are not seen anywhere. Not in the store, not on the road, not in the office. Stay the hell out of Target and these other corporations and rolling back their DEI programs. And this got to include all blacks. Ubuntu, I am because we are. From the judge to the drug dealer. From the street cleaner to the pro athlete. From the newscaster to the bus driver. From the entertainer to the CEO. Fuck you, Nelly. I didn't say that over the air. What effect will this have? It will answer W.E.B. Du Bois's question. It will greatly affect the economy. You don't think so? It will show how deeply blacks in America are entrenched in American society. It will show black people how truly powerful we are, and have no doubt it will scare the hell out of white America. Let's be clear about one day. That's just the start. I know a lot of us are upset about what's going on. But don't be surprised. Be prepared. It's just to get the ball rolling. It's just the beginning of changing tactics and bringing about real change. But we have to start. I'm going to tell you something. Stack your money. Get a side job. A side hustle. Get prepared. Get prepared. And we can start in one day. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs. All right, all right. Open eye, coming to a close here. Hope you learned something. I know I did before I got here. I tried to. Yeah. Don't despair. Hold your head up. We're resilient people. We can handle this. We've done it before. And that you always tell me, Brother Warren, we can handle this. We know how to handle trouble, despair, and poverty. All right. Take it from the top on this one. A glass that is full cannot hold more water. It must be empty first. And remember, we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This has been Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. Thanks for joining me. All right, all right. Tell you something, pay attention to Africa. I'm going to talk about that more next week. Burkina Faso. Global African supremacy. Because the world was a much better place when the African ruled.